Before making a full review of the 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro, I really wanted to get used to it as an everyday piece of technology. So for me, that means using it for all of my YouTube and freelance work. As I've mentioned before, no day is ever really the same when you work for yourself in content creation. So today I thought I'd bring you along with me for a day of shooting some video work for a client and to show you specifically how the iPad fits into that workflow. So if you do like iPad and aesthetic-y kind of tech content, be sure to join the 10% of others out there and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a bunch. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. I'll start by taking you back a few days to where I'm having a Google Hangouts meeting with a client. We're discussing some potential video work that will be designed to go onto social media. The job for this piece is to introduce people to the client's business by showcasing the food and surrounding areas, which are really beautiful. I'm taking the call on my MacBook Pro while taking notes on GoodNotes through the iPad. I'm using the M1 iPad Pro now with the larger 12.9-inch screen, and after being initially hesitant to leave behind my beloved 11-inch model, I'm actually coming round to the size of it. Amongst lots of other things, having a bigger canvas to write on is generally a really nice upgrade. We end the call on a positive note and I get the go ahead for filming for the next day, so I'll write up a basic shot list on the iPad and get my camera bag prepped for the shoot. For all my video and photography work, I'm still using Sony cameras, mainly the a7 III with a bunch of prime lenses, but also a little a6400 as a backup or B camera. I'll add all the extra camera bits to my bag to ensure I've covered all my bases, then zip it all up. If it's a smaller shoot with just me going, like this one, I'll just take my iPad to back up all the footage to my SSD, so I'll make sure I slide the iPad into the front pocket and I'm good to go for the next day. For the shoot, I've got to be there at 9, so that means an early start for me as I'm quite far away from the location. As ever, I'll feed Pocky and use the iPad to catch up with my watch later list while I eat breakfast. At the moment, I'm really enjoying Faisal Westcott's channel, so I'm catching up on some of his videos before I head out. I'll then load everything into my horribly messy car and get going. I didn't get much time to shoot any behind the scenes stuff while I was there, but I can confirm it did go well. I got everything I needed and the weather held out, which is really useful here in the UK. After completing the shot list, I used the iPad to show the client all of the footage and then backed up all of my memory cards to an SSD in the boot of my car. Using my boot to back up SD cards isn't a particularly normal thing to do, but it was either that or the ground of a wet field, so the boot won. One thing I did notice though that this clip doesn't show overly well is how the brightness of the iPad screen was great for viewing footage back on a sunny day outdoors. It was much better and brighter than my Mac, which I would normally use on a larger shoot. Once everything is backed up and everyone is happy, I'll then drive home. Once I'm home, I'll make some lunch and catch up on any emails I've missed while I'm out. Usually though, I'll just chill out while I eat and watch some more YouTube. Again, I'm very much addicted to the platform, not only as a creator, but also a consumer. I think I could sit and watch YouTube all day and not really get bored. Now that lockdown is easing in the UK though, it means I can work at a friend's house, so for the rest of the day I'm heading next door to continue working. While I'm working here, I'll use my MacBook as my main computer, but I'll still keep the iPad on the go for other little bits. First off, I'll make a list of the things I need to get done in Microsoft To Do and use that to ensure I stay on task. After shoots like today, I often like to grab some photos while I'm filming and send them over to the client so they can use it on their Instagram or other social feeds. I did that today, so my first task is to edit those within Lightroom and get them sent over. I must admit, Lightroom on the new display of the M1 iPad is really nice to use. I enjoy that app a lot anyway, but it's really elevated here. The deeper blacks of that new Pro Display XDR are really helpful when editing photos. Once they're edited, I'll fire those over in an email and say thanks to the client for being so accommodating while I filmed. Once I've done that, I'll use the rest of my time to start making a draft edit of the videos that were shot. I'll make use of my MacBook Pro and Premiere Pro to do this, and I'll get the iPad working on Sidecar for an extra screen to use while I'm editing. I do enjoy having a second screen while I'm working on a laptop. Despite the screen size of the 16-inch MacBook, I still feel cramped when I'm working on a video timeline, so this is a great way to break things up. I'll sometimes use that second screen to have all of the client notes or the brief open too, which is really useful and helps guide the edit. To give that new display a bit of a run as well, I decided to colour grade the footage on there. Again, thanks to those deeper black levels and the increased brightness, I got some results I was really happy with. I'm not a colorist by any stretch of the term, but I can imagine this being super useful for people shooting video in log profiles that need to grade their footage accurately on the move. If you're working from home still and you can or you have the opportunity to do so, I really recommend working with a friend or family member for the day. It helps break things up in the week and also gives you someone to bounce ideas around with. Even if they don't work in the same field as you, they might have some insights or thoughts which haven't really occurred to you. It's also just a nice way to share food or to feel a semblance of normality again. I'll work like this pretty much until 5. I'll then find a good point to leave my work until the next day, check my to-do list and hope that it's all done, pack up my stuff and then head home. When the evening rolls around, I find that all of my computer use goes down a lot, and that includes the iPad. If I'm making dinner, then it will turn into my media player, usually for podcasts, music, or once again to watch YouTube. Because I haven't spent any time on the channel today though, one thing I will do is to check over all the video ideas that I have on the go with Trello, reply to any emails that have popped up, and look over any scripts I have on the go. I'll then make another short to-do list for when I'm working on videos again, which will probably be in a few days from now. With this larger iPad, I have been trying my best to use the Magic Keyboard a lot more. I've never been a huge fan of it because of my addiction to note-taking on the iPad, but after continued use, I can see why people love it. I'm still not sure if it's the right accessory for me, but if you are looking to get more of a laptop replacement out of your iPad, then I think this is key to that. While I've been using this new iPad, I have been keeping an eye out for any performance increases compared to the Air and previous Pro models, and honestly it's been hard to spot any super clear examples in the processes I've tested so far. Apps certainly seem to run a touch faster, but nothing to write home about. I'm sure a lot of developers are working on getting their apps M1 optimized. With a minimum of 8GB of RAM in these new iPads now, they really do have the power of a laptop, so I'm confident we'll see something interesting soon. But so far, I wouldn't suggest you need to upgrade to this iPad if you're on one of the older redesigned Pro or Air models. By the end of this style of day, my iPad battery is usually sitting on around 30 to 40%. I thought that might change a little with this new bigger iPad, but the battery life seems really similar to the 11-inch and iPad Air models, which I guess is a really good thing. It's lasting a day no problem whatsoever, and again, if you are ever worried about the battery life on these products, you really needn't be. To tail off the day, I'll plug the iPad in overnight so it's ready again for the next day. So there's another day in my life as a freelance content creator and how I use the iPad to help me get my work done. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to go and check out the first one in this mini series. I'll link it below, and if you want to see more of this style of video where you follow me around for the day, then let me know in the comments section below. Freelance work is often super different day to day, so there's loads more I can show you and loads more for me to film. Of course, I've got absolutely loads of thoughts on this new M1 iPad Pro, and now that I've been using it for a while and getting used to all the new features, I'll be putting my full review together, so make sure you're subscribed for that one. Anyway, if you could pop a like on the way out, that would be massive, and I will see you all in the next one.